Good morning. It is 6 a.m. and you're watching Denver7 News. No, this is not old video from the winter. Strong storms dumped hail by the feet in parts of Colorado yesterday, and we could see more today.
I'm meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo tracking that chance for more storms moving through the Front Range this afternoon. We're also going to see a scorcher this afternoon, triple digits down to the southeast. We're tracking it all ahead.
Plus, the private information of tens of millions of Americans is compromised. We have what you need to know this morning about Capital One's data breach and what could be the largest security breach to ever hit a financial firm.
Construction continues here at DIA, and officials say the contractor for this project is intentionally causing delays, but now the contractor is firing back at the airport. We'll get into the specifics coming up.
Meanwhile, we continue to wait in long security lines out at DIA with all the drama. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. Glad to have you here with us. This is a live look right now from our mile-high camera over downtown Denver. You can see we have a quiet and clear start to our morning out there, but as is the weather pattern this time of year, that will all change by this afternoon.
And a good example here, take a look at this video from along Highway 83 just east of Monument. So much hail here fell during the afternoon storms yesterday. It looked like about 6 inches of snow had fallen out there. The plows were definitely needed to clear the roads of all the hail. That was wild.
Yeah, Lisa's in the Weather Center with our first alert forecast. We could see some more of the same today, Lisa.
Yeah, and you know, yesterday most of us didn't see anything. It was just basically that one cell there along the Palmer Divide that really blew up. Today we're starting off a lot like we did yesterday, though, with some sunshine, and it's going to be a beautiful start to the day. Actually, a great day for the pool, at least for the first half of it. A good day to cool off because we're going to be in the mid to upper 90s this afternoon with a few afternoon storms. But there's a better chance of you not seeing rain or a few storms today than there is of you seeing it. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll track that chance for a few storms. But look at the highs by about 3 o'clock. Jason, we're talking 95 to about 97 in and around Denver.
And we have obviously a couple of big problems here to deal with on the morning drive, and most of them is huge. I'm over here on the east side of town. So on the northbound side of I-225, you see it's almost a half an hour's drive because of work that's continuing there right by 17th and Colfax. Take a look from the cameras. Now, this is the first one where you can still see some traffic moving past the construction. It looks like they're just now pulling out. I can see some of the flashing lights here, but take a look a little bit farther back at Alameda. So the traffic has been backed up here, and then closely right there under the bridge, there's a new little crash that happened in the backups, and so that's going to add to some of that extra time. The other big trouble spot, obviously, is the situation here at Parker and Quincy. One lane is open northbound. All of Quincy heading west to Parker Road is closed down. There are ways around it. Atchison Place is one of the ways folks are getting around it, and unfortunately is a huge traffic jam in there. I have some other good ways to get around it in just a second. And then southbound I-25 near 120th, you just saw the map update. A new crash is being reported coming down from that north side.
All right, 6:03 is your time. Take a look at your screen very quickly. This is a live look from our Lookout Mountain camera that looks over the Front Range in downtown Denver. Actually looks pretty good right now, but we've become accustomed to the so-called brown cloud that kind of hangs over the city.
And you can see right now it's not really a brown cloud, but more of a haze. Denver7's Nicole Brady is live this morning, and health officials are now targeting oil and gas to stop this.
Yeah, they are. The state says the oil and gas industry here in Colorado is the biggest producer of volatile organic compounds, VOCs, you've heard of those, and nitrogen oxides. Those mix together and react with the sunlight to create ozone pollution or smog, which we see often in Denver, especially on those hot days that we get in the summer. Lately, we've had quite a few of those. Now, yesterday, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment proposed new rules for the oil and gas industry. Our partners at the Denver Post report those rules would require more inspections of any leaks at facilities, also monitoring of air quality around facilities, and annual reporting of the pollutants they're emitting. Earlier this year, the American Lung Association actually ranked the Denver-Aurora metro area 12th worst in the country for ozone pollution. And of course, it's not just oil and gas. Vehicles are also major contributors to pollution. There's a development to report on that front as well. The Colorado Colorado Energy Office, the Department of Transportation, and a couple of automaker associations agreed yesterday to some new plans for zero emissions standards here in Colorado. That would specifically require automakers to put more electric vehicles on the roads here in Colorado. If you want to curb your own emissions, it's a good idea to just drive less, especially on those ozone action days that we get sometimes. Today, fortunately, is not an ozone action day. The smog levels are expected to be in the good to moderate range in the Denver metro, but we have had 17 ozone action days this year. And if you have breathing problems, you know when there's a day like that. We're live in Denver this morning. Nicole Brady, Denver 7.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Hundreds of people made their way out to City Hall in Gilroy, California last night to comfort each other and show support for their community in light of the deadly Garlic Festival shooting. These 3 people were shot and killed when police say a 19-year-old gunman broke his way into the festival and started shooting. They are 25-year-old Trevor Irby, 13-year-old Kayla Salazar, and 6-year-old Stephen Romero. Police killed the gunman within a minute of the first 911 call. Investigators have yet to update us on the possible second suspect witnesses reported seeing. And today, the Denver Public School District will hold an exercise to prepare for a tragedy like this. They're holding an active shooter exercise at Columbian Elementary to prepare for a worst-case scenario. They'll practice everything from a mock lockdown to the reunification process. That training starts this morning at 8:30, so don't be concerned if you see a big response there.
Capital One is the latest credit card and financial company to be hit by a big data breach. You'll want to be on the lookout for emails from them to find out if you're one of the more than 100 million customers impacted. Here's what you need to know as you wake up today. Customer credit scores, credit limits, balances, payment history, and contact information were all compromised. No credit card numbers or logins were released, but about 140,000 Social Security numbers and 80,000 bank account numbers were also compromised. A Seattle software engineer has been arrested in connection with that breach. She could face 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Construction on the project to expand DIA is hitting some turbulent times right now. The project is now years behind schedule, and both the contractor in charge of the work and DIA are blaming each other for those delays. Micah Smith is live this morning out at the airport, and you're trying to sort out the mess unfolding out at the airport in the midst of a construction mess.
All of that is correct, Molly. This is a mess for passengers who will have to continue dealing with the ongoing construction. It's a mess for the contractor who's in charge of this enormous project, and for Denver International Airport officials. The latest situation came to a head when DIA officials sent the CEO of Great Hall Partners a letter saying the contractor caused a fire in the construction area and failed to repair the damage in a timely manner. DIA then sent a second letter saying Great Hall Partners intentionally refused to move temporary walls around the baggage carousel, even though work was complete. Now, right now, DIA and Great Hall Partners are participating in mediation in hopes of getting the project back on track, but they're still pretty far apart on who is responsible for what. For example, on top of DIA's complaints that Great Hall is delaying projects, they want to make several changes to the original plans. Great Hall Partners claims in order to do that, they need more time and money. Both things DIA officials are unwilling to give at this time. Now, as far as DIA's claims that Great Hall Partners, quote, purposefully and knowingly interfered with airport activities, a spokesperson for Great Hall Partners says those claims are baseless. We'll have more from a statement that they sent us coming up at 6:30. But for now, live from DIA, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Micah, thank you. Today, we could learn the names of the 2 American soldiers killed in what's being called an insider attack in Afghanistan. The Army is waiting to release details on the attack so they can notify the families of those soldiers. Their deaths bring the number of American troops killed this year in Afghanistan to 14.
Tonight, the next round of Democratic presidential debates begins, and once again, the group of 20 will be split into 2 nights. Former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper will debate tonight with Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet will be on stage tomorrow night with former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris. Experts say being moderate has actually made their campaigns harder.
Middle is not where the noise is. That isn't where the fundraising dollars typically are. You need to ignite something special to make that going. And particularly when Vice President Biden is occupying a lot of that space, it's just hard for others to make a mark.
It is a big uphill climb. ABC's Rick Klein says while Hickenlooper and Bennett are on stage this week, he does not expect them to make the cut for the September debates.
I have a feeling we'll still see a lot of fireworks, though, from the candidates. We want to thank everyone who came out to support a Boy Scouts bike drive.
Yeah, we told you last week, Kyle Donahue was collecting used bikes for kids, veterans, and the homeless as part of his Eagle Scout project.
So his initial goal was 50 bikes, then 100. Well, by the end of the drive on Sunday, he had 215 bikes. You can still donate to the Second Chance Bike Shop in Aurora. Just tell them it's part of Kyle's project.
I've never seen so many bikes piled together.
Huge
in my
pile.
life. Well done, Kyle. Well done. A plan to restore dying grass in a Denver park has homeless advocates fighting back.
Why they say the cleanup is just an excuse to kick out the homeless.
Plus, a scooter free for all on the 16th Street Mall in Denver. Why the city isn't doing much to enforce the rules.
And even engineers admit parts of Santa Fe are flat out unsafe. It's driving one Denver7 viewer crazy, and Jason joins us with details on when a fix could come.
You might be able to get faster on a scooter right now on 225 with some work that continues up by Colfax, and then we have a crash right here at Alameda, so double trouble there, and then we'll have a full workaround. How to get around that problem there, Lisa, at Parker and Quincy. That's all coming up in just a minute.
You're starting to see some of that sunshine this morning. It's a beautiful day. If you're out walking the dog this morning, we'll be in the mid to upper 60s by about 7 o'clock. When you get home to take them out, a few storms are possible today. 95 degrees, though, for a high. It's going to be a hot one.